Oi pessoal, tudo bem? So today we're talking about gear and how to take your shot from looking like this to this. So I wanted to make a video updating you on the gear that I use, and you'll find that it's not only more budget friendly, but it's also a little less common than what you might see on a lot of other YouTube videos. So first, let's talk about the camera and the lens. As most of you know, I use the Panasonic G85 for my videos, and I absolutely love it. The lens that I use is my trusty DJI 15mm f1.7, and I always shoot at f1.7 for these YouTube videos. And I also have a 1/8 black pro mist on that lens as well, and that just helps soften the highlights on my skin. As far as picture profiles, I typically shoot in either Cine D or Cine V if I'm feeling lazy. For audio, I actually use a Comica VM20, and I have it boomed here right out of frame, right below me. And I just use a really simple microphone arm and I plug it right in to my G85. Don't use any external recorders or do any syncing. I record all my audio straight into the camera, and it typically sounds pretty good. So now let's talk about framing and light motivation. As you can see, I typically shoot into the L of my room, and I like to get a little bit of the window in the shot as well. And the reason for that is because it motivates my key light. So instead of having the light on this side of the frame, I always have my light on this side of the frame. So before we go too much further, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creative and curious people. Whether it's photography, video, design, Skillshare has thousands of inspiring classes to help you gain more knowledge on whatever subject you're interested in. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, so you'll never have to deal with any annoying ads. One Skillshare class I took and definitely recommend is How to Speak Confidently on Camera by Nathaniel Drew. Nathaniel takes you through his tips and tricks on how to develop the skill of speaking confidently on camera and how to connect ideas and tell a narrative. As someone who speaks to a camera on a regular basis, I'm always wanting to sharpen that skill. What's really cool is that the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description below are going to get a 1-month free trial of a Skillshare membership. So definitely don't sleep on that. Try to be one of the first 1,000 people. Click that link in the description below and go and learn something new on Skillshare. Once again, big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. So the key light that I use is the Godox ML60, and I absolutely love it. It's just bright enough to make YouTube videos, and it's very color accurate, and it's also very small, so it's great for filmmakers who maybe are in a smaller space, or if you want to take it on location, you can, because it can be powered off of 2 Sony NP style batteries. So now let's talk about diffusion. So instead of a softbox like most people would use, I actually use what's called a soft lighter from the company Photech. And basically what this style of diffusion does is it acts like a book light. And if you aren't familiar with what a book light is, basically book lighting technique is when you shine a light onto a reflective surface and then you diffuse that reflected light. And what it does is it breaks up that light and it softens it and makes it really nice and diffused and gives really nice fall off on your face. So the Photech soft lighter is basically a big reflective umbrella that you shoot the light into the reflection, and then that reflection is then diffused through a layer of diffusion, and it creates a really nice soft light, hence the name soft lighter. And again, most people use a softbox, but what I found is that not only does this take up less space, it's still just as wide as most softboxes, but you're able to angle it in a lot of different angles and get some pretty unique lighting setups with this style of diffusion. And again, it does soften the light really, really nicely and creates a really flattering light on your face. So now let's get a hair light going, or a rim light. This is going to be on the opposite side of my key light, and what that's going to do is just help create a little bit more depth, and it's going to give me an outline on this side of my body. So yeah, now we have some light here giving me a little bit of an outline, helping me pop from the background a little bit more. Typically it's easier to make yourself pop from the background if you're wearing something that doesn't blend in so much with the background, but I always find myself wearing black shirts, so I just try to live with it. The last thing I'm going to do is add a practical, and what that's going to do is just give me a little bit of color contrast and also create some depth in my shot, because that light back there will be out of focus. So yeah, that's how I set up the A-roll talking headshots for my YouTube videos. And as you can see, a lot of the gear that I use, sure, it's not the cheapest gear on the planet, but it is definitely on the more budget-friendly side, and you can still create some really nice looking video out of some pretty inexpensive and modest gear. I've said this before in so many of my videos, but it's not just having the gear, but it's also knowing how to use it. So having, you know, good lights or a good microphone or a good, you know, camera or lens, those are all great things, but if you don't know how to actually put all those pieces together and create a nice looking image, having that gear really isn't going to do very much for you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, it'd be awesome if you hit the like button. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. Big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and if you'd like to check out some more of my videos, you can click on either side of my face. Thanks again so much for stopping by, and I'll catch y'all next time. Ciao.